From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
One more corner pocket.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hutchavandi.
And Corey Clark.
Wake up! What's up, everybody? It is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Coming up on today's show, Michael Langston talking about that camp weekend that was and some visitors. The top 40 getting ready to be unveiled, as well as the Zaxby's Indescribably Good Player of the Week. Wake Up Warchant is presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill in Tallahassee, Florida. Monday's lunch special, build your own burger. Do it. 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., $8.99. Inflation proof. Look at that. Build your own burger over at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Mondays. Corey Clark joining me as always. He's a senior writer for Warchant.com, the ultimate Seminole sports source. Thumbs up if you're on YouTube. 5-star rating, review. Cool, please. Apple. Corey, I'm just going to lay out happy belated Father's Day, I guess, to one of the best in the biz. Your son, though, he stole the show this weekend, I feel like.
Well, he had a really good tournament. He really had a good first couple games. He went, it's also Brady Clark's birthday today on top of June 20th. He's 14, which is nuts. In 2 months, not even 2 months, 6 weeks, he'll be starting high school, which is very horrifying. So he turns 14, which is crazy. And, so he played – he's on a 13U baseball team because they're all 13 right now. And this weekend they played a 14U tournament. Because it's their last tournament as 13-year-olds, so they decide to play up. Now, so some of them are turning 14 here soon, so that meant some of the teams they were playing were turning 15. So there was a little age, size discrepancy. But Brady had legitimately the best day of his life. He went 6 for 6 in 2 games with 2 walks, 2 doubles, 6 RBIs, 6 runs scored. It was nuts, Aslan. It was nuts. Not so great on Sunday, but he did enough. He made some winning plays, and he had a couple hits, I think, or a hit. But, still overall, really good tournament. His season's over. Now we can, get ready for high school and see if he can maybe make a high school freshman team.
There you go. As we record this, Notre Dame about to drop to Oklahoma in the College World Series. Maybe we're a day closer to Link Jarrett coming back home. Who knows? Who ultimately knows? They shared an anecdote I didn't like on the telecast, though, Corey, about how the former, I think, Southern Cal softball coach, called up Link to give him, a motivational speech, and they didn't give any sort of context as to why there might be some sort of relationship between the Southern Cal softball coach and Link Jarrett being at Notre Dame. Just made me a little bit nervous. I'm like, Southern Cal has a vacancy for their job. Maybe she's trying to politic for her side. But the folks on the ESPN broadcast quickly kind of pivoted to, by the way, his alma mater's job is open, and he's being talked about for that. And I was like, all right, better. Thank you, Mike Monaco and those guys. But you guys don't want to hear about baseball. You want to hear about football, and it's June. So we unveil and bring back the Warchant.com Top 40. Now this is, God bless Gene Williams for doing this. Gene stays active in running and helping out with the website, and he wants to do this, man. Shout out to him. He tabulates all of our votes. And it's Corey, myself, Ira, Jeff, Gene, Tom. I think even Austin was involved in it this time around. Shout out to Austin R. Cox, who out there grinding on the recruiting beat day in and day out. So I think that's 7 guys I said. And I don't even know how the scoring system works, but Gene's got it figured out because he's a smart dude and he tabulates it all. And there's a master list, which is over on warchant.com. But we're going to talk about our lists. Because, we talk about it, this is not our show, it's the people show, but we're the ones that do the predominant talking on this program. So we'll probably have Tom on tomorrow and Ira as well for them to talk about their lists. So, Corey, I'll go ahead with you. Give me 38, 39, and 40 on your list because I think what we're unveiling today is 31 through 40 on the website, so we'll do that, but we'll kind of piecemeal it out. Give me 38, 39, and 40 on Corey Clark's 2022 Top 40, which, by the way, is players that will have the biggest impact on this season, not necessarily the most talented, best NFL future, or who will end up having the best career at Florida State, just who will have the biggest impact on Florida State in 2022.
I got Tate Rodemaker at 38.
Okay.
I got Maurice Smith at 39. And then I've got Malcolm Ray at 40.
Oh, Okay, I have 2 of those 3 guys on my list, but none of them. I don't have Tate on my list. That's spoiler. We talked about that last week. I've got Malcolm and Mo on my list as well, but I've got DJ Lundy at 38. I figured, I don't know, that's like your 4th best linebacker, so maybe that does Hunt in some form or fashion. I got Winston Wright at 39, which I don't know how we're going to value him. I figure if he's going to be healthy at some point, he's got to be on the list. He'll have an impact. And then this was a tough one. I put Jarian Jones. I don't know, man. You're the 3rd, 4th cornerback on the team. Maybe that you have an impact on a game, and that would end up putting you on a top 40 list. So that's where I went. Any of those make you chuckle or wonder what the hell I'm thinking, Corey?
No, I got Winston Wright at 37. I don't know if I'm supposed to give that away or not.
No.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump ahead,
Yeah,
but I was saying we were right there. We're close to each other.
We were, okay.
Because there is a chance he plays. And if he plays, he's going to be a pretty impactful guy, right?
Right.
We think that. And we don't think it's out of the realm of possibility now. You hear some good things that maybe there is a chance he's playing. Maybe not against Duquesne, but maybe by the middle of the season or late September he's playing, and he'll be an impactful guy if he's healthy enough. So no, I think those are good. I had Lundy a little bit higher than that, but yeah, he's the fourth linebacker in a team that might run some sets or a lot of sets with only 2 linebackers. Yeah. So I think that's a fair ranking. And Malcolm Ray, I think I might have had him the lowest of anyone. So I hope he proves me wrong, man. I hope he's better than he becomes not just a body, but somebody that's impactful and makes plays as a backup defensive tackle.
Well, don't say that. People will cite the fact that he had a couple TFLs and maybe a sack or 2 as a guy that did actually flash. But I'm with you. I was looking at the fact that of reps. I just feel the guy's going to get a lot of reps, so that just gives me a better chance of making an impact. So half of this is what I think is going to happen. Some of it is me hedging myself from not looking dumb and following the group think on our website. Is Jarian on your list?
No.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, he was like top 15 for me last year. Shout out to Shane Kirknell. He's like, Jarian's going to have a monster season. Book it. So I appreciate that.
Oh, okay.
All right, so break it down then. Go from give me 35, 36, and 37. You said was Winston Wright?
So, yeah, I got Greedy Vance at 35. He's probably – I doubt you have him. Maybe you don't have him. I don't know. Maybe Jarian Jones was in the place of him. I got Greedy Vance at 35, Ryan Fitzgerald at 36. He's a kicker. They have an impact.
He is.
Especially if they're not very good, it's a big impact. And then 37 is the aforementioned Winston Wright. Junior, not senior, but junior.
Okay. I don't have any of those guys in those slots. I do want to ask you, I figure, you're a vet at this now, Corey. You've done this 4 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you would have made the kick against Notre Dame, would Ryan Fitzgerald have been one of the top 40 most impactful players on the team last year?
He made the kick to tie it. I mean, that was a big kick.
Right.
To tie it.
Yeah. But then, I don't know, because they beat us they won, 41-38. It wasn't like they scored a touchdown.
Yeah, but they also played for the field goal once he missed.
Right.
So, I think that, I don't hold that miss against Notre Dame against him because he did make a really clutch kick to send it to overtime.
Yes.
I think if you have a solid place kicker, they're always going to be top 40 on your list, especially in a team that plays a bunch of close games like Florida State did last year and will presumably this year. Having a good kicker is a big deal. I think he was one of he led the team in scoring. Does that not matter anymore, Aslan?
It doesn't. That's the silliest stat.
He kicked the game winner against Syracuse.
He did, which stemmed the tide of bad things. Were we
I
tied
doused myself in champagne.
Yeah,
they were tied.
Okay, all right. All right, I get it. I've learned my lesson. I don't have any kickers on this team. I just don't. 35, I got Dennis Briggs, which I don't know if that's low or whatever, but injury makes me.
I think that's probably pretty low.
Okay, injury just makes
just
me
for
very
us.
cautious.
I mean, I'm talking about in relation to what other people picked him as.
Yeah,
I think that's probably low.
Yeah, I like the kid. I just injury. I'm that guy. I'm very bearish on guys that are coming off season-ending injuries that happened in the middle of the season. Although it happened like week 4 or whatever, so maybe not as bad. I didn't want to put Johnny Wilson on my list, but I just felt I had to put him on my list because I'm sure everybody did, and I didn't want to be the one guy that didn't, and then he ends up scoring like 5 touchdowns. And then I've Lawrence Toafili. I don't know. I don't feel good about that one either. I don't know where I was thinking on that one, but yeah, 35, 36, 37, Briggs, Wilson, Toafili.
Well, I have all those guys on my list, but they're much higher on the list.
Okay, all right.
Than you.
Okay.
I just think. I mean, I think Johnny Wilson and Toafili, especially Johnny Wilson. I think if he can, he's going to make some plays and he's going to make some impacts. Now, he's also going to make you roll your eyes probably occasionally, but I think that guy is going to start. If he doesn't start, he's going to get a lot of reps, especially on third down, especially in the red zone. He's going to be a big part of their offense. I think that's what I envision anyway.
Okay. All right.
Toafili was a tough one, though.
Yeah,
because he's probably third string, right? But he's good. And I think they like him a lot. And I think they're going to use him a lot in certain in certain ways. So I don't before he got hurt, obviously he had the crazy play against Clemson, but he was playing much better until that stupid into the game play against Clemson where he got hurt. Right. I think they like him, and I think they feel like he's going to be a part of their offense.
Yeah, I wonder again just the how many touches is he going to get, but he is a guy that has the potential to really make the most of those. The touchdown against Clemson, that was a freak kind of play, but he possesses the tools, I guess, balance to stay
even
up.
But I was going to say, even if he doesn't stay up after the tackle, it's still a 60-yard catch.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was still an impactful play, even if you take away the crazy stumbling into the end zone. Mm-hmm. That's what he can do against a really good defense. He is a matchup nightmare for linebackers, especially in my opinion, in the passing game. And I feel like they didn't do that enough last year, honestly. But he wasn't good at the beginning of the season. Then he got hurt on that game. So what are you going to do?
He was finding his stride, and then boom, real bad timing. All right, Corey, give me 31, 32, 33, and 34 to wrap up the bottom half of your – not bottom half, whatever, the bottom quadrant of your top 40.
Okay, I got at 31, I got Kentron Portier. Okay. Probably Portier, sorry. I always want to call him Portier.
Next time we speak to him, I want to ask for clarification. The media guide has it Portier, but it's Sidney Portier. I mean, it's the same exact spelling. Why wouldn't you want to crib from that pronunciation?
And then I got 32, I got A.Z. Thomas.
Okay.
33, I've got Jarrett Jackson.
Okay.
I think there's a chance, buddy. I think there's a chance. And then 34, I got Shaheem Brown.
Okay. I do not have Shaheem on my list.
Okay.
So I think we're even then. We got one guy each on our lower quadrant that we don't even have on our top 40. Well, two, because I don't have Tate either. This is good. It makes, good debate. It's like Skip and Shannon.
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're shooting for here.
Look, I've been saying this forever, but I just think that Shaheem Brown lacks the clutch gene. He just doesn't make plays when it matters. Sorry, I was doing my best Skip Bayless.
That was good.
Thanks.
Come on, Skip. 31. I don't like having him this low, but I just feel like it's what we've seen, and I don't know what much more we're going to get from him. I got Cam McDonald at 31.
Okay, all right.
Joshua Farmer at 32. I mean, you're the fifth defensive tackle probably in the rotation, I'm guessing. Maybe he can build his way up. I don't know if he was injured. He was limited, though, in spring, I feel like. I don't remember seeing him on the field as much as I would have anticipated. This one's a bit of a reach. Leonard Warren III. Who'd have thunk it?
Right.
They said they like him. I don't know where he fits into everything. It's crazy. Aslan's got Leonard Warren III above Dennis Briggs. Mark this down. We can laugh about it. Freezing cold takes. 34, I've got Azaria Thomas. But well,
that's the closest we've been, I think, right?
Yeah, so I got Azaria.
And I think we both think he is probably the most talented defensive back they have, right? Physically?
Athlete, the best athlete probably, yes.
Yes. And I think we both think he's going to have a very good career. It's just he's a freshman, and he's joining a secondary that has a lot of experience. It doesn't mean he can't crack it and play, but I don't envision him starting, especially to start the season. So then you wonder, okay, what's his role going to be? How much of an impact will he make if he's playing 15 snaps a game or 10 snaps a game? Now, by the time October rolls around, look, we saw it with Cooper. Maybe by the time October rolls around, maybe he's playing most of the game. Maybe he's starting. And then at that point, these rankings might look silly. But right now, it's hard to envision A.Z. Thomas being a guy that's going to be starting right out of the blocks because it doesn't happen a lot. It doesn't happen really ever.
Interestingly enough, Gene also has a cool little sidebar he gives us after he tabulates everything. Some of these kind of a little bit of interesting confluence and coincidences, perhaps. Somebody didn't have Malcolm Ray on their top 40, but then it looks like they adjusted and put him on there eventually.
That was me.
Yeah.
What's the matter? You didn't know you know my name. You know me.
I don't want to call you out. Subtweet you. I'll subtweet you. I won't at you. I won't at you. Ja'Kai Douglas didn't make somebody's top 40. Only one person was left off. Greedy Vance did not make somebody's top 40 as well.
That's not crazy though, right? Like I had him at 35. How much do we think? He's going to factor it. Like he might. I guess he'll be in the running to start.
If we traded him for Jarvis Brownlee, then he's going to play a lot.
I mean, maybe he's. He certainly has a chance.
Yes.
I just didn't. I wasn't in love with what I saw in the spring. I guess that's the
fair.
Kindest way to put it.
That's fair. Again, when you're talking like 4.25 and if Noles ends up being your other cornerback, then who's your slot cornerback? I just don't. I don't know if that's.
No, I think Noles. I think Noles is slot corner. I think they like him there. Why put him out wide if you really like him at nickel or in your slot corner? Like, don't weaken yourself in two areas. If you really think you have a really good nickel corner, let him stay there and figure out who your other outside guy is going to be opposite of Cooper. Greedy Vance will be in the running, but I think Renardo Green's in the running, AZ Thomas is in the running, and I kind of hedged, to be honest with you.
Right.
When I put Greedy at 35 and AZ at 32, is like, okay, one of those guys is going to be probably playing a good bit, but I don't know who, so I'm just going to put them both back a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's more of a kind of, I don't want to say indictment, but just less confidence I have that Renardo Green will be able to actually hold that spot down the entire year. And then I feel like at that point it's probably going to come down. I think it's more likely to come down between Greedy and Jarin than it would be Azareye'h Thomas. I love what Azareye'h Thomas can be, but I'm not going to put too much on him this season.
Right. But what's funny about it, just looking at my list, because I'd forgotten exactly how I had him ranked, Renardo Green's not much higher than either one of them. Like he's in the top 30. I'll go ahead and give that away, but not by much. So those three guys fighting it out, I kind of hedged all along, all three of them, and thought, okay, one of them will start, but none of them do I feel confident in right now. Renardo Green and Greedy, Renardo Green because of what I've seen from him in games, Greedy Vance because of what I've seen from him in the spring, and then AZ Thomas just because he's a true freshman.
I still can't believe I really put Leonard Warner above Dennis Briggs.
Well, that's weird. I don't want to call you on that, but that's weird.
Well,
but hey, man,
that makes better show.
Who knows, buddy? Who knows? He might have a big year.
They need a pass rusher. Maybe in Leonard Warner's that. And not that he's going to be like a Jermaine Johnson guy, but I think he would see more opportunities in that role. And that feels like you have a more chance to make an impact than you do being like an edge-setting guy. Although if Briggs is healthy, yes, absolutely. If Briggs was healthy, I absolutely would have him above Leonard Warner III. I'd have him much higher on my list. I'm just that guy that doesn't feel good about putting so much on kids that are coming off these major injuries. Winston Wright, man, Jeff, Gene, and Austin were like, we'll wait and see on that.
Yeah.
Jarrett Jackson, Tom, and Austin didn't put him on their top 40. Joshua Farmer, you and Gene didn't put on your top 40s. Again, I just think I don't know. I don't think that Tafase – I thought that Tafase kid they signed – was actually a 2022 guy who's going to be available this year, but apparently he's not, I was told. So that just puts Joshua Farmer that much more in line to get reps inside the defensive line. And then Sam McCall, you, myself, and Tom were like, we'll pass. Love what he can be, but again, I think he's behind Azareye'h Thomas, and there's already a lot of guys in the second.
Yeah, we don't envision him competing for. I just don't envision him competing for a lot of meaningful snaps in his first year.
All right. There it is, 31 through 40, everybody. We've got the entire cruise tabulated, formulated results on warchant.com. We'll be rolling this stuff out. Do we roll it out? Do we spread it out? Is it all going to be revealed this week, or do we do like 31 through 40 this week, and then maybe like Friday we'll do some more? Who knows, everybody? Just keep listening to the shows, keep downloading, keep listening. Is there going to be a headlines, Corey? I know Jeff might be out of pocket. Who knows? But download it anyways. Be on those feeds. And before we step away, Corey, I saw this email that we should read. Hi, my husband is a big fan of your podcast. As I'm writing this email, it is playing in our car. Haha. He listens to you guys in the shower, elsewhere and on the ride to and from work.
Okay.
He responds to you when you guys ask questions and laughs when you guys make jokes. He would also say good luck on your upcoming gallbladder surgery, Corey. For Father's Day, would you guys give him a shout-out? His name is Paul Masante. He loves Florida State so much. He would never say that out loud, but he does. LOL. I would really appreciate it. Sincerely, Ashley Masante, Nole by marriage. So, there we go.
So the answer to that is, sorry, Ashley, no. You blew it. It's past Father's Day. We can do 2023 Father's Day. No, I will go ahead and say it for both of us, right, Aslan? Happy Father's Day to Paul, right? We said Paul?
Correct. Yes, correct.
That's cool to think about people listening to us in the shower.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
why I
good
listen to
stuff.
Marcelo. Yeah, I put that Bluetooth in the bathroom, and then when I take my showers, boom, turn it on. Yeah.
But to all the fathers out there, man, it's a fun job. It's a taxing job. And the thing that I've realized, Aslan, I know I've said this before, but like you'll find out one day.
Hopefully,
we're all hoping
God
it's going to happen.
Yeah.
You never stop worrying about them. Like when they're 1 and 2, you worry about them just putting their fingers in a socket or eating bleach or something.
Right.
But then when they're 13, you're like, okay, what are they doing on Snapchat? What are they doing here? What are they doing there? And then you're like, okay, what about when he starts driving? What about the first time he gets his heart broken? What about the first job he has, the first job interview? Like all these things, you just realize it probably never stops. No. You just you parent, you have a kid, you have a baby, toddler, elementary school kid, and then it just goes on, and you never stop really worrying about them. So yeah, that's just something I've realized here lately, that it's never going to stop until I die. I'm going to be worrying about this crazy kid. But anyway, hey, and we're all going to die. We all know that, but happy Father's Day, Paul, from your friends at Wake Up Warchant. So when I took Brady and Stephanie to the Lightning game, by the way, Lightning, we got to get it together. I don't know what happened on Saturday night, but that was nuts. As a lifelong Lightning fan, as you guys know I am, that was tough to watch. Yeah. Maybe that was the problem. I was watching it. But when I was in Tampa, one of Stephanie's friends asked me to record a video for one of her friends that's a fan of the show for like a happy birthday present.
Okay.
Like I sat and recorded like, hey.
Like a cameo pretty much, but for free.
Well, that's what it was. It was for free. And I'm like, you know what? And I was like, hey, tell them they owe me $50. But then I was jokingly thinking, you know what? You and I should do a cameo, Aslan. You think any chance we could get to double digits? As far as like dollars?
Oh, okay. Yeah. We could do like $2 a pop. We can I'm sure get 5 people out there.
Well, that's single digits. I'm talking about, could we charge $10?
Oh, I don't know.
Probably not.
No,
I don't think we could.
And that'd be really sad when we didn't get one single result.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we have to go down to $6 or $3. Yeah, a gallon of gas. We should just, wherever the gallon of gas is that week, that's what we correlate our cameo appearance fee for. But anyway, yeah, so that was it's always fun. It's always fun to meet the fans. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I don't know how we're going to figure out this next part, but go ahead, play the music.
The clutch shot, the biggest hit. It's time for the Zaxby's Indescribably Good
Player of the Week.
That's right, Zaxby's Indescribably Good Player of the Week, despite the fact that I think all Florida State sports for the calendar year, sports year are over. We're going to reach back into the archives. It is a College World Series, so we're going to talk about the best performance by a Florida State player in Omaha, Nebraska at the College World Series. I'm just going to keep being weird, and the fact that, again, I put Larry Warner above Dennis Briggs, and I'm going to go with a guy who lost a game in Omaha for the national title. But you got to know the background on this kid. Blair Varnes, who was a freshman back in 1999, pitched in the championship game against Miami, and he threw 6 innings, and he allowed 8 hits and 6 runs. And you're like, why, Aslan? Well, he threw 100 pitches on one leg. He had torn his ACL, and they had no hope really for him playing or pitching at any point in the season. And then when it all comes down to it and rubber meets the road, they're like, hey, man, we need you to go out there and win us a national title. And he threw 100 pitches, man, on one leg. As the Orlando Sentinels said in a very poetic way, Corey, his plant leg bound up by braces and supported by a handful of aspirin substitutes. Struck out a dude as well. Threw 100 pitches on one leg. in a gutsy performance. I'll always remember it. And when we finally win this, when Link brings it home, Blair Barnes will be here to bask in the glory.
I was going to go with Link Jarrett, who I think our theory here, what we're trying to do is the best, like you said, the best performances in Omaha. I couldn't find any great ones from Link Jarrett. They did win a game, and he went 1 for 5 with a run scored, but batting leadoff. But that's not going to make the list. So I'm choosing what's the day here? June 6, 1995, and I'm going to give you the choice. And I remember watching it as a kid. Well, I wasn't a kid. I was 20, almost 20. J.D. Drew went 3 for 5 with 3 home runs and 5 RBIs. That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
In one game against USC, he was the cleanup hitter. The number 3 hitter was a guy named Doug Mankiewicz, who went 4 for 6 with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs.
Let's go, Dougie.
So the two of them combined for 11 RBIs. They combined for 7 hits, 5 home runs, and 11 RBIs. And, oh, yeah, Florida State lost. But we don't have to we don't have to dive into the details. Yeah, they gave up 16 runs to USC. But still, that's one of the best duo performances in the history of Omaha. They happened to do it back-to-back. I think they had back-to-back home runs twice, and then J.D. for good measure hit another one. So those are my two. Just that one game was very, very memorable.
All right, there we go. Doug Mankiewicz, J.D. Drew, Blair Barnes, our Zaxby's Indescribably Good Players of the Week. As advertised, it is Michael Langston. He's here to talk about recruiting. All this several hours old, though, if you were a member of warchant.com. You could be on the premium recruiting board getting all this in real time, but whatever. Time is money, so you do what you want to do with that. Michael, how are you, man? Happy belated Father's Day to you and your family.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm doing good. Long week of camp, but certainly a productive wing and got a lot done. And Austin Cox certainly was a big benefit for me as far as having out there. So, it's a busy week.
All right, let's start with Fabio at linebacker. Blake Nicholson out of California, a guy that made an official visit, if I'm not mistaken. How'd that go?
Yeah, it went really well. It seemed like everything I got from it was pretty positive. I'm still under belief, as I've said many a times, that I would like, when it comes to West Coast kids, I like to see them kind of visit multiple times. So I think as long as he follows through with that, follow-up visit, I think FSU has a realistic shot there to pull it off.
I know he said that he wants to commit, I think, in August, but also wants to come back for the Clemson game. So was that like a hint? Kind of like, if he's going to commit in August, why would he come back to Florida State if he wouldn't be committing to Florida State? Or am I being too crazy?
No, you're not being crazy. Kids say that a lot, and it's like that's why I say I want to see the follow-up visit. And if he's deciding before then, he's been to Oregon, more times I think than any place. So that's why I say follow-up visit's a big thing. But yeah, you could be your detective work could be right, as long that he plans on coming back to her for a visit, or maybe he's just telling us what he would like to do if he hadn't made a decision yet. So. But I think Randy Shannon did a phenomenal job with him. I think his connection with FSU is Derek Ray, because Derek's from the GM for Florida State. He's from Oregon State, so there's ties to Blake that he has there. And then I think he just the way and shout out to those FSU players. They did a phenomenal job recruiting him this weekend. He really connected with him. He's pretty good friends with AJ Duffy, from what I can gather. I think they did a phenomenal job really selling what FSU's program is, how real it is, and like the good and the bad. And I think it really resonated and connected with Blake. And certainly they need a linebacker in this class, and Blake's certainly a pretty darn good one. I think a 4-star linebacker, if I'm a 3-star linebacker, but still a good one. Some really good offers over. We've talked about him constantly as far as previewing this visit, and I think FSU really nailed everything you want to do. Did kind of a unique thing where they did kind of his photo shoot out in Doak Campbell Stadium, some of it. So that was kind of a cool little thing. But I think they did everything you need to do, and I think they also got, he's coming out and saying publicly that, hey, I'm going to come back for another visit. So, that would definitely be a positive development for FSU if he follows through with that.
Again, yeah, Blake Nicholson, 6'2", 205-pound linebacker out of Manteca, California, 3-star on the Rivals.com network. Going to be going to Oregon this weekend. Washington, Nebraska also in contention. All right, so that was the official visitor. Meanwhile, camps, and a few more camps. I think there's going to be a camp this week too, everybody, another 7-on-7. And it might actually be like on Wednesday when it's supposed to hit 102 degrees out in Tallahassee. I love it. Go ahead, Michael.
I was going to say, once it gets above 90, 95, really there's not much difference between 100 degrees. It's hot as hell.
Right.
Fair. But either way, it's really hot. And yes, there will be one final camp. The final camp, I think, from what I was told, is Wednesday. Obviously, we have a big man camp. We have a 7-on-7. We'll be out there. I will be out there. Austin will be out there. And but yeah, there'll be the final one. And then a month later, I reported this on our message boards that July 30th seems like they're holding some kind of junior day event. I think they're going to have some big prospects there. I think that's kind of where they're gathering all, because that's the last day kids can visit, through the open period until the season starts. So they're putting their, I mean, you definitely cannot say with this staff
they're trying, right, Michael? They're trying.
That they're not working, because they're using every angle to get these top kids on campus before this season starts, generating a lot of buzz and excitement, getting a lot of evaluations done. I mean, a ton of evaluations. I think they've evaluated like every underclassman quarterback that they've targeted in this individual camp and the quarterback camp setting. So they're getting the work done. Now, you got to show the product on the field, but man, you can't fault these guys for working, because we're up there every day, and it feels like there's a camp like every other day, and or there's a visitor every other day. So they're bringing it. I mean, that's as much as I can say.
I'm looking at your notes and observations from the individual and quarterback camps this weekend, Michael. A lot of guys, a lot of sophomores, some freshmen in there too. But anybody in the 23 or 24 class, whether it was a quarterback or on the individual side, things that kind of stood out to you?
Well, I think quarterback Kevin Sperry, I thought it was the best quarterback at the quarterback camp. I thought he was really good. I thought he's a guy that, hey, get ready. He's going to be a target I think that FSU is going to push for. He was to me, he really jumped out to me at the quarterbacks. I mean, people can go through the list as far as quarterbacks. I'm not going to cover every single one, but I think he jumped out to me. And then Dylan Moses' little brother, he's 2025 linebacker. Kaylon Moses, he looks. They wear this. I mean, I remember when Dylan was here. They have this ponytail in the back, and he look almost like identical. He was phenomenal. He's going to be a really good one. I think FSU's the coaching staff with Shannon and having all that experience, and also him being around the players and seeing what the players are like, I think really, I connected with him, because he wants people that are real. And we've seen kids, come on these visits, and they tell you like directly, like, hey, this staff doesn't like sugarcoat. They don't pitch it. It's not about a pitch. It's really, they tell you the good and bad and all the stuff. So I think that connected with him. But those are kind of two guys I talked to from that individual camp. They were really good. We mentioned all the offers. People can go on the message board and see all the different offers. I think the interesting one for me was 2026 offensive tackle, Aslan.
What is that? Is that 8th grade or is that a freshman?
That's a freshman. Yeah.
Okay.
I've never, in all my years of doing camp, I cannot remember it. Maybe going back to Carlos Williams or maybe a Derwin James. I cannot remember FSU offering too many guys from a camp. But they offered Kenyi Pepe. That's his name. He plays at IMG. 6'6", 280. I could really tell just the way when he was working with Atkins that Atkins really liked a really long range, great body frame, everything. Feet work were really good, and once Atkins worked on his hands, he just took over, and he was phenomenal. But that kind of interested me as far as that offer. And then the day before we covered Zaire. I want to say I'm trying to remember his last name, but he also got an offer. He's a 2025 guy, and that was his first offer in FSU. And certainly he was excited. I kind of saw the moment where he's hugging Norvell and jumping up and down. So those kind of moments make it special when you're out there. But I think mostly, if I put the camps in a kind of a summation, I think a lot of this is just we want to get these young guys on campus as much as possible before they hit the big time, before the big boys get on them and knock it out. And I think that was kind of their broad thing of with the camps of why they're doing it. It's not so much the premier guys and have to get these premier guys. It was more we want to evaluate these guys before anybody else and show them. You get on this early, and that's what you got to do with your FSU when your product is not there yet. You have to get on these guys, show them what kind of coaching you're going to get, build a relationship, and just have you know exactly what they are because you worked them out. And by the way, that offensive lineman's name is Zaire Addison. My point is these camps, I think a lot of people kind of, even myself, I thought there would be some 2023 guys. It was mostly an underclassmen camp. They might as well call it that because that was what the pattern of the camps were, from daily. Now there's some 2023, stud guys that they like that were there. KJ Sampson visited yesterday, FSU commit. Everyone can read the story. It's on the front page, and I gave my thoughts on him as well. He visited, so there's some sprinkled in 2023, but I think for the most part, the evaluation part was a lot for these young guys, and that's why they did it.
I mean, I kind of get it. I want to let you go. I know I don't want to keep you here too long, Michael, but I mean, they've got 7 commitments for 2023, and they're just full throttle on 25. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just shouldn't they be focusing maybe more on guys that they're going to try to sign here in the next 5 months?
Well, my thing is with those guys is a lot of those guys visited really early in the spring, so it's like how much stuff are you really going to see? And you don't really need to work. I mean, they've worked out guys that are 2023, like Wilkie Denaw, defensive end. He worked out last week. They've worked out guys that, hey, maybe we don't know exactly where the pecking order is. He is with our position, so we bring him in, and then they work him out. But the guys they're sold on, they've already visited FSU. All those guys you mentioned, like the elite guys, they've all visited FSU very early. And I think people sometimes forget that those guys are on campus. And certainly you want them on campus as much as you can in the summer, and that's kind of my complaint. I'd like to see those guys on campus more that visited early in the spring, but they have gotten these guys on campus, so I think it's now. I think it really just, we beat this a dead horse, but I think it's really just, dude, you got to show it on the field. You got to show the product, and you show the product. I'm going to be a busy, if FSU beats LSU.
Right.
Yeah. If they start off the season, say 2-1 or 3-0, that's you're going to get the momentum that people are kind of craving. But the thing I've said all along, and I'll stand by it, is it's still the product on the field. You have to show the product on the field. Kids want to see a more consistent product. Doesn't mean 11 wins, just means a consistent product where you're consistently looking the same every week or getting better. And I think that's what a lot of these recruits are hitting me up all the time. Like, hey, what do you think, Mike? How do you think they're going to be this year? Like they're almost cheerleading this team to be good. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of these recruits want them to be good, but I think as Gabriel Harris told me last week, they just have to see it. Yeah. And that's what it's about.
Yeah. I mean, FSU's got 8 commitments for 2023. Notre Dame's got 15. Clemson's got 12. Mm-hmm. Penn State has 13. Georgia has 11. But Alabama only has 4. So, we're somewhere in the middle of that.
Yeah, everyone's in a different pattern of when you're going to push. I think FSU's push is going to be – I think you'll see in that late July that I talked about, that July 30th weekend, I think you'll see them push for some guys. And then after that, I think you'll see them push when they have a big game or, say they're hosting Clemson or they're hosting some other team that they feel could be a big weekend for them. And they start seeing the product. If they follow through and the product's good, they're going to push. Yeah. So I think it'll be there. But every school is kind of on a different pattern. Like Alabama, we know you're Alabama, dude.
Yeah, they'll be fine. Exactly. Yeah, they'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. But everyone's on a different pace.
All right, Ally, last thing. William Foles, I think we thought he might be on campus Sunday, but apparently he'll be on campus Monday?
Yes,
Okay.
I was told today. We went up there just in case, of course,
Yeah.
and found out that he's going to be on campus Monday. I do not know how long that visit's going to be, but it's a very important visit because he hasn't visited since last summer. But he's also really praised FSU. You know, the relationship with Dugans. He knows Bartow really well. He really likes Norvell. He really likes what they, he could do in that offense. So it's a big visit. It's a significant visit, and certainly I'm sure they want to lock up an official visit for him. So I think that's part of the visit plan and kind of solidifying that and finalizing that. So big visit. I'll get up with him after that visit. So William Foles, 4-star wide receiver. So wait for that, guys. We'll have the latest on kind of where that stands.
Yeah, class of 2023 as well. 6'2", 212 out of Miami Christian, and as Michael said, 4-star. So that's the waters we want to be fishing out of. So
there you go.
All right, on with it, Michael. Let's break. Thank you for your time. Thanks for the knowledge as always. For Corey and Michael, I'm Aslan. Thank you for listening to Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
Warchant.com is the ultimate inside source for FSU football and recruiting. And now you can get in on the action for free for an entire month. Warchant.com is offering a risk-free 30-day trial subscription. Get full access to the #1 website covering the Seminoles just by entering the promo code WARCHANT30. That's WARCHANT30. Sign up and get in on the world's most active FSU message boards. Receive breaking news, stories from our award-winning staff, plus get exclusive interviews and videos. Just enter the promo code WARCHANT30. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.